Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Not too bad. Today is Friday. So, waiting for, what time is it? Almost 11 o'clock a.m. Waiting for my boiler men. If you remember, the last time I had boiler guys come on December 1st and to check my boiler and everything was okay. And I don't know, I'm having this, every time it ignites, it's doing it back, almost like a backfiring thing, and I don't like that. I know my boiler is attached to a wall, which is, he's a big tank, and he's literally attached to the wall. And not to get into too much, but on the other side of that wall happens to be a brick wall leading to my terrace. So, it's very chilly, it's very damp, very cold, and my house is very drafty anyway. I should really weatherproof my windows. I'm just not even going to do that this year. I'll probably start for the summer for next year to look into doing something with the windows, like weather treating them and stuff. Really isn't nothing much to do. What am I going to do? So, of course, like the last time when the guy was standing here to check everything, nothing happened, and I did bring it up to him. So it's been doing it a little bit more now. I'm scared. It's, you're sleeping at night, and you just, he starts up, heats up, and then you just hear this boom. I call it a sonic boom. It's really annoying. I'm going to have some oatmeal. I like the Stop and Shop. You can have the Quaker brand oatmeal, which I do have, but I also like the Stop and Shop apples and cinnamon. And I add my own cinnamon mix to it, just to mix it up a bit. And then I mix it up into the bowl. And I'm just gonna pour some hot water for this. I'm letting that boil now. Other than that, things are okay. Husband is working. He'll be home tonight. It's probably going to be pizza night because Friday nights are usually pizza. So that's pretty cool. I've been on a liverwurst kick. I love liverwurst. Even as a child, I guess I was a weird child. I don't know. I used to love liverwurst sandwich. Right now I have them on rye bread with mustard. My father and myself, we used to like liverwurst. I also used to like liver and onions, and that was very expensive. Back when I was a child, like in the late 70s, early 80s, mid 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And my mom used to purchase calf's liver, and it was like a nice treat, at least like maybe once every 2 months. My dad would bring home a good paycheck, and my mother would say, how about liver and onions? And it was like a father-daughter thing to do. I don't know, I was one of those children. I like those things, I guess that makes me unique from everybody else. I don't know. What else? I'm going to try and complete the trolley car from the Lego Main Street collection and get that going. I would probably like to do maybe a little scene underneath my Christmas tree. I don't know. I have. My husband didn't even put the train sets out yet. I don't think he's really in the mood to be doing this. And I says, listen, you have all these trains. You only pull these out once a year. We need to do this because it makes it look nice. It's festive. It is a tradition. I don't know, but that's me for you. I'm trying to do the tradition, but I guess he's not into it. I don't know. So it all depends on how you feel. I guess it all depends on how you feel. So it's one of those days. I'm not going out. It is raining. Well, I can't go out because I'm waiting for the boiler guy. It's raining. It is yucky. It's been raining now for 2 days. I know certain parts of New York City has gotten snow already. Yeah, it's gotten snow. So, not bad. Not bad. What else? I watched some videos this morning. There was somebody that went live this morning. I caught their video of their opening of some exchange gifts that they're doing, an exchange program for gifts. Hi, you know who you are. I don't mention anybody's name because I don't want to do that. What else? Situations are arising between, and I'm just going to put this out here because everybody else seems to be doing it. Situations seem to be arising. The Backstreet Boys band, and Nick Carter. He has allegations against him. Ladies are now coming forward from the past. Your past will come back to haunt you. Some people just think in bands, and I'm just going to put this out there, some people think that they are invincible and probably threatening the person, like if you say anything, there will be consequences against you, and I'll make it bad for your family, I'll make it bad for you, and that's all good and cute, but you know what? What it is that a woman needs strength for herself. A woman needs strength. So there is a woman, a young lady that came forward. You know, this happened in early 2000, I want to say. So, you know, the statute of limitations, as long as you are good to go with that, I think she actually had a month left. She names the dates, the time, the place, the situation at hand. She has her lawyers, so hopefully she will seek justice. I am all for that if there is proof there. If you can prove it, God bless. You know, the thing with the Me Too movement, and, you know, it's here, folks. It's here. It's here. Do I feel sorry for some men? In a way, yeah. In a way. But you know what you did back then will come back to you, and that is what's happening. I found it real interesting because ABC, the station ABC, is, you know, it's owned by Disney. And ABC was going to have the Backstreet Boys Christmas concert. Well, ABC had pulled that off the air. They won't show it because of the situation with Mr. Nick Carter. And rightfully so. Because, you know, I mean, if it's connected, Channel 7 is owned by Disney. Disney probably put the word out, says, you know what, you know. But, I mean, Disney is all about a squeaky clean image. We know this. They don't like negativity. I guarantee you they were behind this at some point. But Channel 7 has pulled that off. Backstreet Boys had played Madison Square Garden here in New York City last Friday. I found this, like, real interesting. It was sponsored by iHeartRadio and my radio station here in New York, Z100. Okay? Every year they have what's called a Jingle Ball concert, and it's numerous bands that get together. I have actually seen them in the 80s, not Backstreet Boys, but I've seen Jingle Ball in the 80s when Bryan Adams was one of the performers, and I loved every minute of that. And then I had went again in 2016 because Justin Bieber was the highlight of the show, and of course I had to wait for everybody because he was at the end of the show. He was like the last dude to play. I was like, oh. But anyway, that was my thing. I wanted to see it, and I went by myself to that show. I found it real interesting that iHeartRadio, who was sponsoring with Z100 at Madison Square Garden, Backstreet Boys were performing last Friday, and the thing is that iHeartRadio was doing the live stream, which in case certain sections of the Backstreet Boys were not shown, such as Nick Carter. He was actually not shown during the live stream. They actually cut. The camera had actually showed certain parts, but not Nick Carter. Really. Again, nobody wants negativity. That's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy on that, you know. And I have to, you know, let's just call it what it is. Aaron Carter, God bless you in heaven. The kid was true to the mark. I'm going to say, do I believe him? I'm going to say, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. He was saying it for months and years that situations were arising with his brother, as situations were happening about his brother. And why would someone just come out and say that? And, you know, why else would they come out and say that? Because it was the truth. So all of a sudden, this young lady is coming out. There were a few other young ladies. There were two others, I believe. They were not named yet, but however, they are being spoken to, and hopefully they will present their case with this other young lady and form an alliance. I think that needs to happen. I think people should be accountable for the things that they have done. even in their past a little bit, depending on what that situation is. If you caused physical harm, if you caused threatening to a person, yeah. Do I think that there should be some sort of justice? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, just because you're in a band and, management with rock bands, musicians, management companies tend to cradle their people. They tend to cradle their musicians because the musicians is making money for that company as well. So everybody is in a protective mode toward each other. The music business, let me tell you, I've even known like music business, it's kind of sucks. From a lot of musicians' points, they've even said it themselves. So, certain situations are happening. And the outcome of this is going to be real interesting, I have a feeling. So sad. But that is the way it goes. If you think you're invincible, think again. You are not. And, like I said, my favorite Backstreet Boys was never Nick Carter. Just saying was never Nick Carter. It was always AJ and Howie D. I always liked AJ because he always looked older than the rest of the Backstreet Boys. To me, back then, when he first came out, he looked like he was like a 40-year-old. I've always said that. I've always said that. But nevertheless, they've all had their little situations in that band. I mean, every band, come to think of it, every band has had their own situations, But it's the fact of how far is it going to go before the situation arises and comes back and bites you in the butt. And I do not think that Aaron was far off. This kid was on the mark. Okay? I only wish that he was still around in order to see this unfold. I would have been interested to find out his reactions and what he would have to say about it. Right now, things are happening about him as well. And I think it's with the family situation, I think it's disgusting. I think it is disgusting. This family has always had issues. They have never faced their issues. And, problems are arising with that as well. So that's all I have to say about this. I just find out, it's like me today with like current events. This comes to my mind, so I wanted to speak about it. Absolutely. It is a doozy, folks. It is a doozy. Okay, people, but I am going to leave you now. I'm going to have my delicious oatmeal. It smells so good. When I add my extra cinnamon, it always smells good. And I'm going to have myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to sit back. I am still watching Christmas movies. There was 3 Lacey Chabert movies on yesterday, three times in the day. I was like, I was in heaven. I really was. I just love her as an actress. So anyhow, I appreciate you. I thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to what I have to say. Again, nothing much is going on today. I do hope by tonight that I will have an answer as to why my machine is making this rotten, scary noise. I don't like it. I'm scared. And I don't want anything to happen. And I maintain my machines. I take care of them. So that's just the best that I can do. All right. God bless you. Happy Friday. Have a great, safe weekend. Take care. Love to all. Good to see you. Bye-bye.